Satnam, offering a pick a card reading. Notice what calls to you. And asking what is closing out, what is coming to completion for you, what lessons on a deeper soul level are being integrated into your awareness, and how are you transitioning with this awareness? How are you rising above what was and allowing what can be? So if this first card spoke to you, there may be a message here for you. So how are you standing up with confidence and pride in who you are becoming? I will persist. My will is strong. And this believing in you is what is helping you to move forward. Feels like that 7 energy that you know that it's time to work your magic. And what you're feeling passionate about on a deeper level as guided from the angelic world with this deep knowing, So beautiful to be led from the divine and to continue on that path, pushing past any resistance. Having that courage and tenacity to close out cycles and keep moving towards what calls deep to your heart. And making sure that you also remain grounded on your path. Grounded in that knowing. And when you're grounded in that knowing, you will not be stirred. And how are you commanding energetically, commanding in your presence the strength, trying to see if anything else wants to come through these cards for you. Feels more about you taking the reins and making it happen. And trusting that. Trusting you know. Here we go. 7 of Pentacles. Moving towards what calls to your heart. Notice how they both look at one another, both guided. And the seeds planted. The seeds planted to make that move and continue to nurture. To nurture what you're called to create, whether it's a partnership, whether it's a program, whatever it is for you. I'm willing to put in that work. Your cards flying all over the place. So with that persistence means cleaning up, bottom deck energy. What is your wish fulfillment? And being willing to work towards that. And something may need to be laid to rest. Transmuting that pain, the wound, so letting the passion and the material realm continue to nurture that, but letting to rest any thoughts or opinions that don't align with this persistence and the strength that you truly are. 2 9s on the board here, so really something coming, like right on the precipice. Let's see, with like tons of cards out here. 5 of Hearts, 7. So following your dreams. 7, courage. Letting that movement, that victory happen on all levels, energetically. Listening to what comes through. Sitting with it and being willing to translate what comes through, to nurture it on the material realm. And trusting that it will come back to you, that it will return, that what you put in, you will receive. So long as you're willing to let go of the past, so long as you're willing to continue to follow what you truly desire and letting go of the past on some level, letting go of whatever thoughts, doubts, clearing something needs to be laid to rest from past perceptions, to truly listen to that calling, to truly listen to that calling. 3 6s there on the board, and with your 9, so it's your choice to go after what you want. Your choice to go after it. 4 Hearts and the 4 of Spades tells me that it's about you working with the energies to create that foundation from a place of passion and heart, grounded in the material realm. 2, feels like 2 are in my hand. I got 3. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces, so a new dream, I would say. This works really well with the 2 4s here. Believe in the impossible, blue moon. So yes, you can make this happen. Yes, you will. And nothing will come of this situation. So you can take this 2 ways. So if you doubt yourself, then you can continue to fester in that, or nothing will come of this, as in it's up to you to make it happen. It's your choice. It's your action. It's your thought process and your free will that will make it happen. And if there was something in the past that's like keeping you stagnated from it, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so what from the past that you're so afraid of that needs to be transmuted, nothing will come of that until you decide to do something with it. Like it's a fear, and not to belittle what you're going through, but believe that what you want is possible, that your dream, that you are possible, and being willing to sit with your dreams, to cultivate them, to exhale, release through the emotional body, to then receive your wish fulfillment, whatever it is that you choose to nurture in the material, whatever you want to go after as you feel guided to make happen for yourself. Be willing to take some inspired action, and it's going to take courage, and you can do this. If this second card called to you, there may be a message here for you. Who are you in partnership with? Is it time to say hello? Is it time to say goodbye? Is it time to say hello to a part of you and integrate that? Or is it time to release something within you to allow yourself to rebirth? I teach people how to treat me. So are you willing to set boundaries? Are you willing to walk away? Are you willing to close the door? So what do you need? What do you want? And are you willing to speak up for that? Some cycles need to be closed. Some relationships need to be cleared. And a pause is fine. Perhaps there's more that's needed. Cord cutting, an uncomfortable conversation, or simply saying, I deserve better in all aspects of your life. You come first, right? You matter, regardless of what happened in the past, how someone treated you in the past. That's not what's acceptable today. You're a new human, and you have a choice of what you will allow. Surrender. It may not be easy to make these changes, but surrender when you put your foot down, when you draw your line in the sand, when you speak your piece, when you choose to walk away. Surrender and allow God to take it. Allow your angels to continue to work for you. And they can't intervene without your assistance. So if you hold to a connection, if you hold to a pattern, if you continue to grasp, there's no room for them to maneuver new opportunities. Instead, you perpetuate the cycle. So will you surrender the thoughts? Will you surrender the fight? And will you allow angels to come in? Will you allow divine guidance? Will you allow new connections to enter your world? There is light at the end of the tunnel, and that place in between, in that transition, it can be, it's daunting to keep up with these cycles of codependency. And when you choose to walk away, when you choose to let the thoughts rest, you make room. You make room. Oh, beautiful. Completion. The world. So a cycle closing out, making the choice to close out the cycle of the past, and then making room for new opportunities to come to you. The world is your oyster, right? One step forward to begin anew, to spread your wings and allow your sovereignty. And it may not be easy. It may not be easy, bottom deck energy. So this is your growth point, that challenge point right in between this place of change, of this pattern that was imprinted, this pattern that was brought through lifetimes. You may be cycling out with the same soul, working through these same soul contracts or different versions of them. And now you can close out those soul contracts, those lessons, complete them, and move on to your bliss, move on to your happiness. You don't need to bear the burden and keep holding up what others want of you, or continue to move in this cycle of codependency. Ooh, sorry. It's about forgiving one another. And while it's not easy to walk away and it hurts, you miss a friend. It's not all good, it's not all bad, you know, like there's some beautiful parts that connect you to one human being. And there's also a comfort zone in the way that you cycle in those patterns with someone. It's not easy to miss them. It's not easy to love at a distance. You can still say, I forgive you. You can still send them love, and you can still close out the cycle to rebirth anew. It's your choice. How do you want to be treated? What do you want for yourself? What if you shifted that mindset to you matter and start with a blank slate of what you will and won't accept in your life, and knowing, trusting that you're worthy of that. And when you put your foot down, you're going to gain yourself, and your relationships are going to continue to shift. And that energetically is challenging. It's a midpoint, and yet it's going to open so many doors for you. How will you care for yourself? How will you love yourself? And how will you make yourself a priority? How will you see it through in a connection that your needs matter, that your boundaries matter, and insist that things move on your timeline in the way that you're comfortable with, whether it's however that plays out. There's so many ways that we can speak to boundaries and connections, right? Are you willing to make yourself a priority? Are you willing to treat yourself with love and compassion? And understand that that's necessary, that you putting your foot down and you walking away actually closes out that cycle. You're not helping anyone by enabling them, right? Especially if it just feels so cumbersome. Okay. Bottom deck energy. Adjustments are required, so not continuing the same way, but you're in the third quarter moon, so close to completion there. Meditate and contemplate, so really taking your time to explore what's right for you, and that's going to help you discern. It's going to help you know what you want when you take the time to be with yourself, right? To know when you take a look at the patterns in different relationships, when you take a look at the patterns in your ancestral history. And that's going to give you the confidence to follow through and the strength to follow through, to close out these chapters, to speak your piece, to say what you need, to say no, to say yes. And it's based on what you want, where tenacity is coming up. So really, it is about you, and it's time to make it about you, and not with integrity. And that's where you sit with it. You sit with it. Adjustments are required. We can't continue in the same way that we were, right? Do hope this served well. Sending lots of light and love. Set now. This last card spoke to you. There may be a message here for you. So what are you growing? What feels like it's building for you? I choose to take a higher perspective and widen my views. So when you see from above, what do you know to be true? When you see the bigger picture, what comes through for you? And have you been narrow-minded in some way, looking through a small lens, and are you willing to adjust it? And when you do, what do you notice? What do you learn? Probably has so much more at your access. Like, I feel like you're on fertile grounds to create lots of opportunities. And has your mind been talking you out of that? Like that, like small me mentality versus like, go for it. Like, excuse me if this is disrespectful, like that big, go big. Not to say go big or go home, but if your mind's been on go home, that might be challenging. There's so much here for you, and you might not notice how amazing you are and what you're capable of creating here. 9 of Wands. There might have been setbacks in the past, so how can you learn from them to create a new life for yourself? A life worth celebrating. A life worth celebrating. There's a truth here in what you're able to obtain and that abundance mindset. And will you rise above the patterns of the past that your angels were teaching you with tough love? That there were a lot of lessons learned here. But that's not the end, it's only the beginning. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for yourself? And how are your angels guiding you to say, yes, you can do this? And sometimes you might, show some doubt or, kind of have that off day. Notice how they might have some human helper give you a call or remind you that you're a badass. Like, on those days you're down, be open to help on all levels. And those days that you're up, what is the truth? What is the truth here? Be willing to celebrate it all. Small successes, every step forward, every embrace, every human that's here to teach you, whether it's to teach you what you will not do again, or whether it's to teach you just how awesome life can be. Will you dance with all these possibilities that are on the table for you and see how Spirit has been guiding you all along? All these blessings in disguise. Lessons and blessings. Are you willing to kind of look over the forecast of your life? Not so much like this moment and this energy you're in. It could be fear. It's bottom deck energy. We also have. So are you kind of discerning between what happened in the past and what's possible in the future? 9 of Wands is the energy of your lessons, of your soul contract, versus the 9 of Cups, your wish fulfillment. And is there some fear of, will you make the appropriate decision? Pay attention to how you're guided. Pay attention to the energy and the self-care you're in when you go back and forth. And be willing to trust your intuition. Be willing to sit in your power to nurture this growth. Be willing to sit on your throne and own it. And not be afraid of your power. Not be afraid of your intuition. Not be afraid to break the mold. Oh, this popped out quick. You're good enough. And Virgo can be strategic, get in your head. And what if you dialed in to the perspective that you're awesome and move from that place? Make that move from that place. Bottom deck energy. Nothing is set in stone. So you are able to transmute this energy you are able to. You're on fertile grounds. You might feel like you're on bare bones, but you're on fertile grounds here to create and manifest, to celebrate life, to celebrate who you are, to be that bitch, to be that badass. And you might be kind of moving through these two energies of will I make the right decision? Or being afraid to put your foot down or be that. What if that's what the world needs you to see? What if by chance your daughter or a niece or your husband, who I'm just throwing some connections out there, what if they need to see you step into your strength and believe who you are? And what if that's the dial that needs to shift? And what would you do for everyone around you when you step into that place that you're awesome? And that it's malleable, that those days that you're down, those moments that you feel that doubt, that is part of a cycle. Just like the moon has a cycle, our hormones have cycles. Like the week, the 7 days of the week have a cycle, and that's temporary. And can you ride it out and flow with what's happening for you? And just celebrate each moment. Celebrate you. This life is short. This lifetime is short, and you're needed. You're needed. And that's the truth. That when you are in your strength and power, you make a difference for everyone around you. And that's the place that we want to create from. Illuminate this possibility of creation through your own energy field, through your own state of being. This very success of life. Let's celebrate you. You're born for a reason. You're here for a reason. And that's a beautiful thing. You're more than enough. I just keep wanting to tell you you're a badass. Allow those thoughts, notice what thoughts bring you to that place that you can blossom and slash through the thoughts and the energies that drag you down, and remind yourself that those moments are temporary. And just like stones, that they could be rough, glass could be rough, but as it tumbles through the waves with the sand, it softens. So as you're willing to go through this cycle, allow yourself to soften, allow yourself to blossom to the magic that you are for all of us to see. Satnam.